Nothing here is black and white. Nothing here is black and
guys, all good? Hopefully you can hear me this time after last week's mess. Everybody's week off to a good start. And just turn that down. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. These fortnights fly by. Yeah, how is everybody doing? We got in here. Jamie, how you doing, mate? Oh, you were first in tonight, mate. First in. Nice. Let's have a look. Vlad, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Alan, how you doing, mate? How you doing? Based on that sentiment, Jamie, I'm guessing you can hear me this week, so we're already off to a good start. Yeah. Look, where I'm from, Jamie, that's not short. Mining stock down there in Cornwall, mate. It's pretty normal. You're the freak. Sam, mate, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Let's see. Let's get this chat window sorted out. That's all good. Right. Let's get that. So. Vlad, you had a good week, mate? Missed out on the old photo show yesterday, the old basically live stream meetup. Yeah, it's good to see a bunch of you there from the live stream. That was nice. And yeah, there was a bunch of you at the start, and then I think after Jamie got bored and wandered off, we had a few more turn up, which was good. Warren, how you doing, mate? Steve, how you doing? But look, you guys can hear me, right? Like, nobody said that you can't hear me, so I'm just going to take it. The reason I'm being overly cautious is because, obviously, last time we had a failure with the audio. It's going to... And hopefully you can still hear, so let's turn that off. The intro song there was Black and White from San Holo, in case anybody was interested. Let's get back over here, the Facebook page, see what we were. That was the last stream's image. Oh, I forgot that shared to Facebook. Here we go, here's the image. So yeah, Share a Shoot, if you're new here, every couple of weeks we do live stream with Share a Shoot, which is the place where you guys can share your images, and we kind of go through, have a quick look at them, any feedback if needed, and just kind of have a chat about them, maybe some feedback on the posing or the lighting, and sometimes we'll take some images into Photoshop, have a play. In fact, that's what I aim to do today, actually. We don't have a massive amount of images this week for whatever reason. Sometimes, although more are coming in, to be fair. But yeah, it'd be a good chance just to take some images into Photoshop, have a quick play with the color grading. That'd be cool. But yeah, so we got. Oh, this is looking good. I like this one. Yeah, it's looking good. Yeah. Oh, Warren, you're in here as well. Nice. Yeah, this is looking great. One. I hadn't. This is a new. Only uploaded it. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, have a look at that. It's looking good. Loving that shine on the face. Good stuff, man. Good. Nice. Oh, got some from young George in here as well. Nice. George just finding every LED tube he could possibly get his hands on in the studio. Love it. Love it. Oh, Vlad's in there as well. Nice. Chris, I saw this one as well because I just like, I saw it and I was like, okay. And then I was reading the comment here, and we'll go through it. But that's captured in camera is nutty. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Alan, good to see you yesterday, mate. And of course, Jamie. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see what we got. I would ask what considered short. What else? What's considered short in that part of the world? But you're going to answer me with those units of yours. Yeah, that's true, Vlad. I can assure you, I'm far, far shorter than you are, mate. But yeah, I'm a wee lad, should we say? It makes like the only benefit is possibly train travel. It makes it slightly more convenient, but yeah, it's I'm certainly not a strapping gentleman like yourself. He fine, thank you, Vlad. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah. Curious, do you ever take a break from your style, or does experimenting pretty much involve applying the same style in a different way? Good question, Sam. Yeah, it's a good question. And yeah, it's like the style thing is a weird one, right? Because it's something that I firmly believe you can't really escape. I think it's just the way that we do something, and I don't think you can kind of untangle yourself from that. The first few years you're shooting, you're doing lots of different things, and you're shooting and trying lots of different setups and techniques and lighting modifiers and maybe even Photoshop styles and all that sort of thing. And like that goes on for many years, but it is just inevitable that you end up having a style, right? It's whenever we do something repeatedly, we do it in a certain way, and it's kind of really difficult to kind of uncouple yourself from that. And that's not a bad thing. That is just not a bad thing. It's something that you kind of find a way through it, and something that you like resonates with you. And look, I think with creatives and anything that we do creatively, we'll do a shoot and we go, oh, I love that, and you do another shoot and you're like, you know what, it's just not, I'm not happy with that, right? So unless you're absolutely mental, you don't you don't tend to do that kind of shoot that you did that you weren't happy with, right? Now, it's not to say that it's bad. Somebody else may have loved that, but it's not for you personally, right? So you end up doing more of this other stuff that you enjoy doing, and this is kind of where you rattle down your own personal style, right? And that kind of changes. In fact, I went through. I forgot why I was doing it, but anyway, I went through and kind of dug out all of my shoots where I'd done the orange and blue, like the orange edge lights, right, from like 10 years ago, right? In fact, I think I got the reason so I've actually got it printed here from years ago, like the very first orange and blue gel shot. I don't know if you might be able to see that, but like this is the first one I ever did. Like it was a gym shot and that sort of thing, and I was playing around with the orange and blue, and it's beautifully pastel-y from like 10 years ago. Like it's very soft compared to where it went in terms of like super saturation and that sort of thing. But my point being is that like that kind of look and style evolves over time, and you end up trying to get stronger colors. And now looking at those shoots as I laid them all out, like the orange and blues over the years, it's kind of interesting to see how that same setup, which is what it is, kind of like evolved over a decade, literally over a decade, and to kind of see it go into this very super saturated, almost like chromed skin look, and then back to kind of more of a slightly more realistic look, and then some of them again like slightly softer on the saturation. But I don't think you can really detach yourself from a style. I think it's just who you are, and that's a and that's not a bad thing. So do I play and experiment with different things? Yeah, here, like, you know, I kind of want to be talking about this kind of shot here actually whilst we're on stream. This is why I kind of used it as the share a shoot image. But this image here is kind of almost a bit rougher, right? A little bit more rough and ready in terms of the style of it. And this has been something that I've been experimenting with LEDs, right? This is shot at about a 20th of a second, right? So, and with LEDs, you're able to do that, right? I mean, you can do that with flash, but the flash is still going to keep an image perfectly frozen. Whereas this, the movement of the subject, you're moving and that sort of thing, you're able to kind of get this slightly more organic style shot. And, you know, I kind of miss this because, you know, when I first started out, we would shoot with hot lights, you know, tungsten lights, that sort of stuff. And, you know, you would maybe they weren't particularly bright, maybe you're shooting at, you know, sometimes a 30th of a second and that sort of thing, and you would have this kind of sense of movement. And, you know, for those of us who are around, you know, the late 90s, like the, you know, like the Vogue, the, you know, the Tattlers, the Harper's Bazaar and all that sort of thing, you know, all the kind of fashion magazines at the time was shot a lot of medium format, a lot of black and white, and a lot of movement like this. And that was like really freaking cool. And we just haven't seen it in years and years and years. So it's been real fun playing with this original kind of style that I used to shoot, and then incorporating some of my newer color gel work, right, which is what this is, right? So I'm incorporating kind of this older style of shot that I would do like 25 years ago, something like that, and now I'm bringing it back around into some of my more, you know, modern colors. And again, you know, technology weirdly has gone back on itself, so LEDs are now the same as what hot lights were, but with LEDs I'm able to achieve this sort of shot. So, you know, I think that you've got to always be pushing yourself to try something new, otherwise you're just going to go mad, really. Yeah. But it's always probably going to be within your style. Yeah. She did like her flower, Jamie. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. She was she asked me for it straight away as soon as I got back. She's like, "Where's my flower?" I probably am taller than most people in the room. I find myself in this. There's not much. I bet you are, Vlad. I bet you are, mate. You're an absolute unit. Yeah, I saw your image there. You said you was standing against a door. I was like, is Vlad taller than that door? It's okay to share some nat light and airy pics overexposed sky sometimes. Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it is. I mean, sometimes I get surprised with how popular some are, but you know, this one, like, look, here you go. You know, I'm not under any illusions that when I post this, it's gonna pop off, right? This sort of work is just not as popular, even though I do love the kind of more energetic style of shot. But yeah, I mean, this is like a tenth, if not a fifth, of what I would normally get, right? And you know, and I think there's just so much of this preconception with this style now of being, it's a failed photograph, right? Because it's blurry, because it's slightly out of focus, and all this shit does my head in, you know, because, you know, from it's just not that's not what the definition of a great photograph is. And again, like I said, you know, I come from an era, you know, late 90s and that sort of stuff, growing up with the fashion mags like that, and you know, that was not the foundation of what made a great photograph back then, you know. So yeah, I share some crazy bits and pieces now and then, and knowing all full well that it's not going to be for everybody, and that's fine. Yeah. Hey Liz, how you doing? What was your standout product or tech from the show? I bought a Smoke Ninja. You as well, Liz. You and everybody else. That bloody Smoke Ninja. Honestly, I was taking the mick out of you know, Rod, the CEO of Rotolite, when I was up there yesterday. I was like, you know, I'm glad I found the Smoke Ninja stand. It's no longer the Rotolite stand. I mean, bloody, they were just, yeah. I mean, they couldn't sell those things fast enough. What was your standout product or tech from the show? I bought Smoke Ninja. I want a Lumix S series now. Oh, really? Okay. Do you know what? I'm not. Nothing really grabbed me. I did see on the Pixar Pro stand they had like this LED wall like if you were, I think you were here, Liz, when we did the live stream a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about Jeremy Cowhart's cohorts. Apologies, I'm not sure how you pronounce his surname, but looking at his studio and what he's doing with his LED wall, we were kind of talking about cost and that sort of thing. And Pixel Pro did have an LED wall there because they were kind of demoing virtual productions, right? I.e., Mandalorian style, stand in a studio but surrounded by LED walls. So it was kind of interesting to see like a smaller one up close. I've been to the Ari studios where it is an actual virtual production studio where everything is encased in these modular LEDs. But it was kind of cool to see this small one. But it's still a lot. It's still a lot of tech attached to the back of that. I just think it's just going to be cheaper to buy like a massive TV. Like these, I don't know why these LED walls cost so much. I get it because they all clip together, but yeah, I mean that would be something that I would be extremely interested in getting my hands on at some point. Yeah, for sure. It's amazing how you still develop. I know so many photographers with a style that doesn't evolve. It's fine because I like them for what they are, but it's cool when people push to them. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I mean, there are people who have been shooting Rembrandt lighting for like 20, 30 years, and that's their style, right? That's the look that they do, and their clients come in for the portraits, and that's what they do. But like, I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine anything worse. And the reason that jumps to mind is because that is a real, a real story. I'm not just being hyperbolic like that. I do know of a guy. That's what he shoots is Rembrandt lighting. Sat on a stool, and has been doing that for 4 decades. And you just like, why do photography at that point? But yeah, so I love the process and happy accidents and finding something new and combining. I've actually just retouched a shoot that I did the other day where kind of everything kind of slotted into place. It happens, right? You try new things, and then I tried something in the past and that didn't work, but there was this element of that previous shoot that I was like, oh, okay, let's bring that over here. And then same thing happened again. I got another shoot over here that was like, oh, it didn't really work out, but there was this, I loved how that key light was working, and then you finally like combine these elements that like these elements from failed shoots, and then yeah, there's really cool image that really cool shoot that hopefully I'll be able to share soon. But and you get that buzz back, right? You get that buzz of like, whoa, yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I love that. And that's kind of what you're chasing, right? It's just basically just drug addicts in photography form. Yeah. Do you know Nick Fancher? Yeah, Nick. I've known Nick a very long time, Anders. Yeah, and we used to chat way back when, like 10 years ago or something like that, when he was kind of when we were both kind of coming up, as it were, in terms of that super bold colored lighting. Tell you what was interesting about that is, and because Nick's a really cool guy, but he's always been pretty open with what he does. But what I found fascinating was, I wasn't really aware of Nick's work, and he wasn't really aware of my work, but it was kind of interesting how we would be kind of doing kind of similar things color wise at the same time. And I found that, like, it's just bizarre how that happens, right? It's just this, as soon as something like clicks, and then things just kind of roll on from there. But yeah, Nick's work is awesome, man. It always has been. Yeah. He took a huge gap from social media, if I remember rightly, and I think he's kind of back now. I haven't really caught up with him in a long time, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, he is back to social media. He's a master of the blur. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he really leans into it. Yeah, and he'll really crank the sliders on stuff, and like the image is just about to fall apart, and yeah. Perfect. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, don't think Rod Like Me gave him some feedback on the Rod Like website. You can't just walk up to the CEO. You got to go through the channels, mate. Yeah. Oh, you've got the Lumix SR1 and the S52, great cameras. There you go. Yeah, I'm shooting upstage light for like 2 or 3 years now. Yeah, Yeah, I mean that's the cinematic flow, right? That's the shortcut, right? That and smoke, upstage, grain. There you go, I said it. And upstage lighting, job done. That's the cinematic 1, 2, 3 right there. But in fairness to you, Vlad, that you are, you're in that stage now where you're rattling down that groove of exploring areas within some fairly tight confines in your kind of cinematic look, right? And you're really getting into the weeds of it, with the grain and the noise arguments and all that sort of stuff. Like, you're really getting into the weeds of what makes it. And I think it's really when you start to get down there that's when you start to kind of learn the absolute foundational building blocks of something, and that's when you can kind of build up from there. Like, you saw that article that I posted last week. I mean, super nerdy, really. Like, talking about, I mean, it's not going to be nerdy to everybody, but for the most part, for most people, that's like getting into the weeds of it. Jake, how bright is it? That's all I want to know. But I think once you get down to the real, nitty gritty of it, then you can start creating something totally new, right? Rather than just moving other pieces around that other people have created. When you get down to the bottom of it, that's when you can really start to create something. And that's what I love about it the most. Yeah. Product companies know you're a tough customer, Hicks. One of Rod's proudest moment is managing to win you over with the AO style. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, and I've always said that, and he's been very vocal about sharing that as well, and rightly so. I remember, years ago going down and seeing Rod do his little lighting demo, and I was so dismissive. Bloody LEDs, what a waste of time. And that was when it just hit me, right, in terms of seeing the quality of light. Because color is one thing. I can do color with flash, cool, I can do that. But it was seeing how this larger, like, mini wall of light would create this just beautiful drop off on the skin, and you can see it immediately, right? Anybody who's been shooting for more than 5 minutes should really be able to see. And this was just a test shot with a girl that was down there, and I just took the shot, and immediately I was like, yeah, that ain't no softbox. Yeah. But and I think the other thing as well with product companies and gear and that sort of thing is because I am not a gear guy. Like, you all know I shoot on a Nikon DSLR, right? And I've still got Bowen's lights here, right? I'm not somebody who's driven by the latest, gear to inspire me in any way. Yeah. I don't think I'll be getting any freebies from Rod. I'm sure it was constructive, Jamie. I'm sure it was constructive. Yeah, I just think maybe it wasn't the best approach. To be fair, they do keep changing their website a lot. Yeah. Probably showing my wide aspect ratio stuff on YouTube Reels, and I'm tempted to shoot more vertical photos. Ooh, a slippery slope, lad. Slippery slope. I do know what you mean, though. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is weird. Because you have like the heavy widescreen boxes as well, and then, like, how do you display that on something like Instagram? What do you do, Vlad? Do you just put 2 images in one, or like do you just stack them, or do you just have like a massive amount of black space, or how do you do it with your widescreen stuff, or do you just not share any of the widescreen stuff on Instagram? Bloody LEDs, what a waste of time. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I think people still come up to Rod today and go, Christ, you managed to get Jake on board. Like, it was like even people approach him going, how did you manage that? Yeah. Check my feed and you see it's a mix. Okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah. And they helped him make a sale, give some lady a specialised shooting disabled children. Nice. And to be fair, Jamie, it's not like you're a passerby. You spent a ton of money on their kit, so you definitely believe in their kit. So yeah. I tried them all. IG, Facebook, don't like the borders. But also anything wider than 69 is no. Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah, a mess. Okay, so what we're doing today then, like I said, if you wanted to share an image in the share a shoot, by all means do so. Here is the link. If you wanted to share images you've been working on, we can go through them in a minute. I'm just going to have a quick kind of just run through a little bit of news, nothing crazy, then we'll crack on, check out the images, and maybe take some shots into Photoshop and have a bit of a play, and yeah. So hang on a second, I saw Liz in here a minute ago. Oh, that's not this Liz here. That's not Liz Kidson. That's a different Liz. Okay, I was just checking. Okay. Got on my soapbox a bit with my images. Where? What, in here? In here, Liz. Oh, this is you then. Sorry, Liz. Or is it? Same Liz. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, there's a lot of those, Liz. Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, I was reading this, Liz, and we will get to this, but yeah, I was reading that. That sucks, man. Yeah, and we'll have a chat about that in a second. But beautiful shot, though. Yeah, beautiful shot. Yeah, really well retouched as well. But yeah, and I'm quite keen to take that into Photoshop in a minute, Liz, and have a little bit of a play with the color grade, because I think something like that, you know, with the styling and the background lends it quite well to have a go with some color grading. So yeah, we'll do that in a second. Yeah. Okay. So what we got then? What we got here? Was there anything? Yeah, nothing crazy. Like I said, there was Supermodel turned herself into a hyper-realistic metahuman. And those of you guys that don't know, so metahuman is made via Unreal Engine, right? Unreal Engine 5. And I've been doing some work with metahumans recently, working closely with a lady who kind of builds metahumans out, and also she teaches other people how to build metahumans as well. And so it's been kind of interesting. So I have kind of had this kind of weather eye on metahumans, what's going on here, and I don't think this is anything too crazy to be concerned about, or, you know, throwing our toys out there pram about it. But it's just interesting that she's been doing it, and I think more importantly, and we've kind of discovered this when I've been working with metahumans as well, is that the clothes at the moment is like there really isn't anything. It's pretty bad, right? So the clothing, so like in terms of fashion model and that sort of stuff, it's not really going to be anything huge at the moment. You know, a lot of the metahuman work is going on, is really being applied to making them look hyper realistic with you know, like the skin textures and all that sort of stuff, and the, you know, aligning all the movements of the eyes and lips and teeth and all that sort of stuff. So most of the focus has been all on that, but really there isn't any clothes or anything at the moment. So it's kind of interesting to see that she's put it out there. But again, I mean, like, you immortalize yourself at that age, and, you know, be interesting to see if that gets used. Yeah, you know, I can't think she's going to be taking work away from herself, right? You remember all the voice actors not years ago, but a couple of years ago, they all kind of got their voices digitized, whatever you want to call it, so that you could type anything and then it would talk in their voice. I forget the guy's name now. Like, he does loads of game characters. He plays, is it Trey something maybe? And he plays like the bad guy in Death Stranding, and he does. Anyway, but yeah, he digitized his voice, I think, something like that, and it was just like, oh, I mean, that's where you're kind of taking work away from yourself, right? Because, well, we don't need you anymore. We've got your voice imprint. But yeah. Anyway, by the by, so nothing crazy there. So this kind of caught my eye, but again, nothing groundbreaking. But this filter here essentially suspends these jewels or whatever in this gel, and they kind of slowly, so you attach the gel, they attach the filter to the lens, and then these items will slowly move down the filter. Now this probably isn't crazy for stills, but for video I could see how you could kind of have something cool happening there, where you have these, you know, like these reflections or refractions and highlights and flares and that sort of thing slowly moving across the lens. Again, you go, well, Jake, just do it in post, right? It'll take you two seconds in post. You know, it's not really my style, but yeah, kind of interesting. I didn't actually realize they were for sale. Yeah. Yes, Z Filters also offers a number of adapters and magnetic mounting systems, so they allow you to mount the filter on the lens small diameter. So I wonder if you could just, so you just, as soon as it gets to the bottom, you just turn it and then start again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Nothing crazy, but I kind of like the idea, and it just trying to think about if there was other things that you could kind of do with that in terms of having something moving across the image. Like, imagine that with a long exposure image. Is there some mileage there? Is there something that you could use if you had, you know, flares coming into the lens and you had kind of these things drifting through the image through a long exposure image? Don't know. Might be something there, but yeah. I haven't looked into it any further than this, but interesting. And it's always cool when people are doing something new. I mean, it seems to be a different filter coming out every day now, though, right? Yeah. Liz is just saying she's proud of her image. The creator's involved with us for a copy. I'm not sure. I'm absolutely, yeah. I'm not surprised at all, Liz. Yeah, I think it's absolutely beautiful. In fact, ironically, I was just chatting to that model last night on Instagram and chatting to her. She said she was there all day. I missed her. I was up there on the Monday and she was there on the Sunday. And yeah, because I've worked with her before years ago. She's great girl. Yeah. So has she seen it, Liz? I'm sure she would love that image. To be fair, yeah. I'm sure you've tagged her, but yeah, I'm sure she would absolutely love that. Hey Dave, how you doing? I bought gem to glue to a UV filter. It's not worked. You do see those ones, right? You see more and more of those things stuck to a filter. I did see a bunch of filters up at the show yesterday, actually. I forget what the company was called, but I think they were just kind of ripping off Prism FX for far less money. Obviously I would never condone, you know, buying something cheap like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm amazed it doesn't work though, Vlad. I don't know why it wouldn't, unless there's got enough trouble with eye floaters, women and vision without having to filter do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can I just long exposure my eye floaters, please? Yeah. Oh, nice, Liz. Nice. That's great. Yeah. You were banned on Prism FX. Am I banned? You got me thinking now. What do you get banned for? I don't think. You got me thinking. How did you get banned? Oh no, I'm alright. I get to see their annoying tease posts that everybody hates. Fair play to you, mate. Fair play. Good work. Well, you were probably slagging off their filters, were you? you tell them they were overpriced. So guys, you know I was going to bring this up, right? You know I was going to bring this up. Yeah. So for those of you who've been living under a rock or have no care about Nikon or Red at all, but Nikon buys Cinema Camera Maker Red. So this happened last week or something like that. And the whole industry was like, what? That cannot be true. So yeah, Nikon buys Red, which is like, what? Well, there's tons of stuff going on. There's like stories out there that, like, Nikon owed Red a ton of money. I think because Red cameras are kind of renowned for being real nitpicky with regards to patents and all that sort of stuff. I mean, look, it's like it's your patent. Legally, you're allowed to, but a lot of companies kind of allow a fair amount of leeway, in terms of growth and that sort of thing. But apparently, Red are renowned for being dicks about it, right? Anyway, so it turns out that Nikon owed them a ton of money. So Nikon was like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna buy the company. So fair play. And I don't know. I can't imagine that anything is going to change really. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine that anybody outside of the industry is going to know that that Nikon owns Red. I can't imagine they're going to put their names on Red camera or anything like that. I should fully expect the two to just kind of travel along on their own paths and nobody know any the wiser, right? It's like DJI buying Hasselblad, right? Can you imagine buying a Hasselblad and it's got DJI stamped on it? God, that'd be brilliant. But so I can't imagine anything's gonna change there. Yeah. But I didn't know this. Ever heard of the Oakley sunglasses? The guy who founded that, Jim Jannard, became a billionaire after selling lots of Sonys, then went on to found Red Digital Cinema, one of the first major digital cinema camera brands. Yeah. Also didn't know they've been going since 2005. So the other thing that everybody was asking questions about was, like, is it Canon who uses Red, right? And they certainly use a ton of the Red tech within them, and everybody's like, oh my god, Nikon's gonna not allow that. It's like, no, like, Nikon's not gonna turn away money. Yeah. Anyway, once the camera shipped in August 2007, Red quickly became the camera brand to beat for television and movie production. And many of us who were following the photography industry early on got very excited about the camera. This was the first actually usable digital video camera. It was shot in RAW formats. So when did the 5D Mark II come out with... So it kind of must have been similar, sort of around that sort of time, right? 2007? Maybe, yeah, it got to have been around that time, yeah. Giving a lot more leeway for the editing process, so in terms of like raw capturing video and that sort of thing, right? Combining that with the compression algorithms made the enormous amount of data generated by the camera manageable. Okay, so really the tech there, what they're talking about is Red were the first people to come up with a huge amount of data and able to compress that data in such a way that it was actually manageable, right? So despite Jannard's retirement, so the Oakley guy in 2013, Red's legacy of innovation continued under the leadership of Jared Land. The company's camera became a staple in the film industry. The company camera was used to film more than 25% of the top 100 grossing films in 2016. Like, that's nuts. Considering that camera company came out of nowhere, hey? Oh, bloody! Hey, this Jim Jannard, man, he's got an eye for business, hasn't he? Absolutely, just came in and nuked the sunglasses world, and then did the same with cameras. I mean, that's a huge gain in an established industry. It's nuts. Nikon's acquisition of the camera brand is monumental and strategically extremely shrewd. Canon has long had a solid foothold in the industry with its C-series cameras, and the Sony Cinema line cameras have been industry stalwarts, while Fujifilm, well, we can't walk around a film set long before bumping into one of their offerings. Red's cameras are a logical and important addition to the Nikon brand. It'll be interesting to see what Red can do, backed by a Nikon budget. So I really don't know anything about like the stocks or anything like that, but all these guys are talking like Nikon is just this monster, whereas in our industry, everybody just refers to as Nikon as like the poor sibling, right? Like just the scratching around for scraps sort of. But apparently, I mean, if they can just come in and just buy Red outright like that, must have been, because that's no slouch. that's a monster. So must have been some serious money. Yeah. Probably commented something about how overpriced. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Vlad. Yeah, you're not wrong. Vlad's talking about the Prism FX filters. Yeah, for the tax breaks, R&D funding. I mean, you're not wrong, Liz. I mean, all that is gonna contribute to it, right? Say what you will. I mean, Nikon is doing well with that, with their mirrorless, right? Like, everybody likes to shit on it online, but the reality is that people who use it are like, actually, hang on a minute, this is actually pretty damn good. So, maybe there's life in the old dog yet. Still behind. Everybody's buying Sony and Nikon buy Red. Everybody is. So like regular people are buying Sony. Yeah. Every time I hear a DJI own Hasselblad, it blows my mind, because when I think DJI, I think cheap plastic flying stuff. When I think Hasselblad, I think history. Exactly right. That's what I mean. It's so weird, isn't it? Yeah. Can you imagine just turning over your Hasselblad and it's got DJI stamped on the bottom? Hey, it's just never going to happen, right? Yeah. On Nikon, the skin smoothing 5.5K monster. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Vlad? The skin smoothing $5,500 monster. So is that what you were talking about? The fact that you did mention that, didn't you? You did mention that skin smoothing in the video. Was it the Z9 or something? Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah. Has anybody else read anything about this? Because I haven't seen anything since it was announced. But yeah. Everyone is thinking Nikon as such a great company, and they're putting phone stuff on their awesome camera. Yeah. It's the market. It's the market, Vlad. It's the smart business decision. Like, they're not marketing cameras for professionals anymore. Like, nobody is. Because there's like 6 professionals left. Like, nobody's making those. Like, Fuji's making strides with that GFX and bringing it down so that the few remaining professionals left can actually afford medium format. But everybody else is just going the market share is people with the expendable income. They want those features, right? Look, I agree with you, Vlad. I think it is kind of crazy, but to have those sorts of things on a Nikon, but that's just where the money is. Yeah. I presume DIY Photo spoke about the Red. Look, is our boiler on the front page? Here he is. Famous. Of course, I actually shared that image first on my page, but I mean, it's nice that DIY photography is finally catching up. Finally, seeing true talent. You're not slacking off D-Hanser again, are you, Vlad? This is good stuff, man. Good stuff. Look at this nerdy article. I love it. This is great outfit. It's so good. That's a great article, man. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, what a beast. What a beast. Dodge the comments. That's a result. Never read the comments. Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, congrats on that. That's excellent. Yeah, really good. Did these guys talk about Nikon and Red? Weird. Yeah, see that the comments crazy to see it happen. It's only March, not April Fools. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, let's hope the acquisition ends the never-ending story of Red's attempt on patent trolling. There you go. Yeah, you can see. Yeah. Nikon now technically makes a camera that shoots raw video with a native Canon RF mount. So, that's what everybody was kind of waiting with bated breath. But it's like, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to, it's just, they're not going to turn away free money, right? It's just, it's a huge, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to touch that. Exactly, Liz. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, when he's out there under his millions of film noise. I mean, grain filters. I wore that outfit for a week to film my 20-minute video. As you are grinding, Vlad. You're putting in the hours out there hustling. Respect it, man. Nice. I've got a feature in the Daily Sport. Have you really, Dave? Did you? The Daily Sport is not still going, Dave, is it? Those of you that are outside the UK, the Daily Sport is basically a daily booby newspaper, right? Every 13-year-old young boy was down to get their hands on. At some point, we the people gather here should buy it. Yeah, Vlad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. What else we got in here? Anything else? Nothing much here. Oh, this. Yeah. So we kind of spoke about this a few weeks back, right? And somebody else brought it up on stream. We were talking about, well, I don't know, copyright and AI, yada, all that sort of stuff. And so we mentioned this, and I was aware that it was going on, but Christ, I'm going to butcher this name. Xinga Yang. I apologize. That's terrible. Some of you may know her as Z Motion from back in the day. I think it was Z Motion, right? Back on DeviantArt. But she's huge, huge photographer. Has been doing it for many years. Incredibly famous. Just worked for major publications, major exhibitions. This is not just some nobody on Instagram getting teasy that their image got painted. I mean, it's the same difference. The law is the law, but point still stands that her work is absolutely incredible, and she's been around a very long time. Let's just ignore that image that I just scrolled past and quickly get off this website before I get in trouble. So the story is that photographer loses case as Luxembourg court rules not copyright infringement. So if you're not aware of what's going on here, this image on the right is Z Motion's image, or Zhang. I should have really googled how to pronounce this. I apologize. So it's Zhang's image, and then this is the copied one on the left. And somehow she managed to lose this court case in terms of copyright infringement. Now, what have we been talking about on this stream for months and months now about the public perception of ownership and copyright thanks to AI? This case would not have lost 10 years ago. I'm telling you, there's just no way. Yeah, it's just no way. I mean, it's it's this sort of thing now, but it's just a precedent with AI and imagery and the ownership and like the foundational ownership of imagery and trying to understand where that comes from. The fact that this lost when everybody with 2 brain cells and a pair of eyes can see that is a straight copy, right? So Zhang responded to the ruling saying she was devastated by the copyright ruling in Luxembourg today, which stated that my work lacks originality and therefore will not receive copyright protection in Luxembourg. So their kind of argument here is that it's like, well, you're trying to copyright a pose, right? You're trying to copyright something simple like a pose. It's like, not really. Copyrighting the fact that you've completely copied my image, basically pixel for pixel. The original photograph was taken by Singaporean photographer Xinga Yang. Story blew up when she noticed Dischenberg's, really guys, can we not just have just one white name image? We exhibited the work of Strassen Contemporary Art Biennial at the end of May. The resemblance is obviously striking, with the artist even admitting that he used the photograph as a reference image. So he's even saying he used it as a reference. Like, I mean, yeah, the two were unable to come to an agreement over the matter, and Zhang decided to take the artist to court over the matter. Unfortunately, yesterday's ruling did not favour the photographer. The basis of the judge's ruling was that the model's pose in my photo is not unique But how can a photo's copyright be based on pose alone? I agree, writes Zhang. If having a unique pose is the premise for copyright protection of an image, then nearly all portrait works in the world will not have copyright protection. Agreed, right? Like the argument saying that the pose isn't unique enough, that's not what, in my opinion, that's not what's at fault here, is the fact that the image has been copied. Yeah. It's a very good point. The creation of a photograph, particularly a portrait, requires so much more than just having the subject sit in a certain position. The lighting, colours, props, styling all come together, the whole thing. This ruling effectively allows anyone in Luxembourg to freely and openly exploit, sell, and license and use my work without permission or respect my rights, despite recognizing me as the copyright holder of my work. This simply goes against the very principles of copyright law. Look, I absolutely agree with her. I absolutely think that it's just like it says here, a blatant infringement. Really makes a mockery of existing copyright laws. She has vowed to appeal the court's decision. I cannot believe that she lost. And I saw this, I was absolutely dumbfounded. I must have reread it. What was kind of interesting is that there were people going, glad to see these copyright laws are failing. Of course, the painting is almost a copy of the photo, but it's a reinterpretation in a totally different medium. No harm was done financially to the original photographer, more likely the reverse. No one should own a look, and letting this win would just encourage copyright holders to attack anyone doing anything. This is what I'm talking about. This public perception of ownership and copyright is being really skewed now. So you agree that the work of photographers should be open season for other artists to copy. I mean, it's nuts. Yeah. And these comments were super mixed. Like half of them going, absolutely, well, of course you didn't win, and then others going, it's theft, pure and simple. It is interesting to see how we perceive ownership of imagery now. Yeah, very, very different to what it was years ago, sadly. Yeah. Online edition now, fine sporting supplement. Is it only online now, Dave? Okay. I didn't know that. Fine sporting supplement. I'm sure the sports coverage is second to none. Yeah. Would Canon allow the RF lenses to be used on the Nikon Red? Firmware shenanigans could turn the lenses into a paperweight. George, I don't think it's going to be any issue at all. I think Nikon is just going to let that business most likely just operate the way that it's been operating thus far. They're just going to be the umbrella above it. And there's loads of companies that do that. I don't think like Canon users have anything at all to be concerned about. Nikon will be turning away huge sums of money for no reason at all other than ego. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any issue there at all. Yeah. Speaking of Dehancer, they have a beta version from with film dust, hair, film scratches. The hairs feature is so good. I hate how realistic it looks. The hairs feature. I mean, if you need help with that, just I can send you over a few hair scans if you want. It opens up the floodgates now. This is in case law. I agree with this. Yeah, I absolutely, completely agree. I think when she kind of states that here, and she even openly says it, that it just means that anybody in Luxembourg, it's just going to use my images carte blanche, like knowing that there's practically almost no repercussions at all. So yeah, I agree. Like you say, I think it's open season on it now, and we've covered a few of these over the previous months, and in each of these articles, I've gone, I don't think this would have, this photographer would have lost this copyright case 10 years ago. We should now take photos of paintings and pretend it's all our work. Because you're right, you can't do that, right? That's you absolutely cannot do that. Yeah, and we all know you cannot do that. But you're absolutely right, Liz. This is exactly the same thing, but in reverse, right? You're just painting a photograph. It's a different medium. By that logic, it's absolutely fine. It's madness. Yeah. So I had to bring this up as well, right? We all know and love the Helios lenses. Those of you who don't know, super old kind of Soviet Union lenses that, I mean, you used to be able to pick them up for like 30 quid on eBay. I don't know how much they are now. They're probably worth more, but I'm sure most of us have got I've got at least one or two of these kicking about somewhere. Vlad, how many Helioses have you got? You must have every version. But essentially, what they're saying here is that it was used in the latest Dune film, believe it or not. And what does it say here? Dune Part 2 has captivated the audience with breathtaking visuals, just like the first movie, but a surprising element emerged amidst the cutting-edge technology and high budget. A $50 vintage lens from the 1960s played a crucial role. The secret weapon, the Helios 44-2, a Soviet-made lens known for its distinct swirly bokeh. So photographer Greg Fraser, you know, the guy from Batman. In fact, it just goes on to say Batman there. Yeah, so... And again, yeah, we spoke about this at the time as well when we were talking about the Batman film. You know, we said... and then you guys brought it up as well, that, you know, the Helios lens was used in that Batman film as well, and you can kind of see it in those scenes. I haven't seen Dune 2. Have you guys seen it? Is it good? Worth seeing at the cinema, or hang on? The Soviet glass was especially well suited to what we were doing. Used them in harmony with, effectively, Fraser told Ari Rental. What I love about the 65mm large format is that it removes restrictions for me, opening up so many more lens options. You can work with lenses originally designed for smaller formats, where you see parts of the glass that were never intended to be seen. Kind of interesting what he's talking about there. He's saying that, you know, a lot of lenses will create, so, you know, the light goes into the lens, and then it, you know, then projects a circle of the image onto the back of the film plane. Now what he's saying here is that some of these lenses are actually creating far larger circles of light than we actually would normally use on a 35mm, and, you know, he's able to see more of these more of these circles with these larger 65mm large format. So I haven't looked into it, but Dune 2 also has infrared scenes in it as well, right? Which look really clever. Yeah, really, really beautifully done. Yeah. You got the 2 and the 4, okay. Yeah. For $10, really, yeah. Some of the camera club at Aldi's love to talk about the Russian lens. Look, Liz, I'm gonna side with them on this one. I love these old things, man. They're a pain in the ass to use with Nikons, but they do create some beautiful looks. Yeah. Some more rando 50-ish mil lenses from the era. Okay. In Germany, there is a clause in copyright law that recognizes a Bearbeitung process of reinterpreting an original work and transforming it into a new work. Completely different case here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well, right? All these countries, regions, whatever, all have a very distinct difference when it comes to copyright law. You know, here in the UK, whenever we press the button, legally we own that image. Like in the US, it's not quite as cut and dry as that. You have to register copyright as well, I think. I mean, you can do it in batches and that sort of thing. I'm not 100%, but I know in America you have to sort of do one extra step. By all means, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it's basically a bland copy. That's brilliant. Yeah, I love how my Helios lenses, they really make you work hard as photographers to get an image. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, I think the image is a bit more unique for sure. Yeah. You've got them as well, Warren. How many have you got? Yeah, we should print the painter's work on shirts and sell them. We should do, you know. Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, oh man, somebody should so do that. I mean, hopefully, Z-Motion should do it. Yeah, she should definitely do that. Start selling the t-shirts. That's hilarious. Yeah, but now I want the 85-108 autofocus to shoot vertical photos of my reel, so no more 50mm for me. Okay. Yeah. Right then. Was there any other crazy news you guys saw? Like I said, I wasn't really paying too much attention the last couple of weeks, so that's on me. Obviously, apart from Nikon showing their cards there. No, and they've still got some fight in the old dog there yet. If there's any news I missed, let me know. Anything crazy? Any new products you saw? Let me know. Thanks everybody that popped by the show yesterday to come say hi to me up there at the Birmingham NEC. Those of you outside of the UK, this is our annual photo show. I mean, it's a photo video show. We just call it TPS here, but it's been going in many iterations for a very, very long time. And what was kind of announced at the start of a show, I was talking to some of the exhibitors up there yesterday, and they were going like, we were all just told on Saturday morning or whatever it was that next year we'll be in London doing it. So the show that has always been at Birmingham for decades is now going to be moving to London, and not permanently. So they're going to move to London next year, and it'll be back in Birmingham the year after, and then back in London, right? So they're going to alternate between the two. And I mean, change is always crazy for people, right? So it's in the XL London there. So change is always crazy for people, and there's seems to be the same amount of people going, oh my god, this is brilliant, as there is the same amount of people going, this is terrible, you can't do that, like nobody wants to traipse through London, yada yada yada, what sort of thing. So the Excel Centre here in London, like, is right in the heart. It is right in the heart of London. Just so in theory, pretty easy to get to. I mean, it is 20-minute walk from a tube station, but still, it is a big expo space in the heart of London there. And look, I think it personally makes sense. Right? I think it personally makes sense. And the reason I say that is because, and hear me out, and I'm not going to get too doom and gloom here, but just hear me out. Like, our economy here in the UK is definitely taking far longer to get back on its feet than many other countries. And I think that them putting the show here next year will actually bring in far more international, clients, customers, that sort of thing. So I think it could be a good thing. I think it really could be a good thing, to bring money into the UK, basically, right? Because we bloody need it. Certainly, many countries in Europe are back on their feet far more than we are, and I think it's a smart decision for them to put it down in London and see what happens. I mean, just to give you some idea, I mean, if you were to go like London City Airport, I mean, I've only used London City once, but like, it's right next to it, right? It's like six minutes in an Uber or something, like, away. So you can fly in, boom. Yeah. And one of the biggest complaints that people always had with the NEC, because you can go into Birmingham Airport and that sort of stuff, but the actual photo show is quite far away from that. People have their hotels next to the airport. There's nothing to really, do and that sort of stuff. So, Birmingham's kind of spread out like that, and you had to, whatever it was, take you ages to get into the heart of Birmingham. I mean, I always thought there was enough to do around the actual photo show itself. Like, we never really went into the town proper, but we just wanted to drink. Like, I mean, I'm not too fussy, if I'm honest. I don't need any fancy cocktails or anything like that, so I never had a problem with it. Like, I've been going up there for years with numerous different companies over the years, and we always managed to have a pretty damn good time whilst we were there. So I'm not sure about the argument of people being bored in the evenings, but the flip side is that, of course, if you're going to London, you're going to be right in the heart of London, and you can get straight to it. So yeah, I think it'd be good. I mean, the downside is going to be for all the exhibitors, right? Like, if I'm working, if I'm demoing or doing talks and that sort of stuff, I have to get put up in accommodation, right? And you can be damn sure it's going to cost you a lot more to put somebody up in London for 4 or 5 days than it is compared to Birmingham. So I think the cost of the exhibitors is going to go up quite a bit. But they could get more boots on the ground. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it next year. See how it pans out. But yeah. If did anybody who went to Birmingham this year, I know there was a few of you in chat at the start. Will you be going to the London one next year, or you're like, I am not going to London? You know, I get it, right? It is a pain to traipse around, but yeah, if you went to the NEC or you have been to the NEC in the past up there in Birmingham, would you go to the London one, or is it just like, you know what, that's not, nah, I'm not doing it. Okay, so I'm just going through a couple of bits here. Give me 2 seconds. So Dave says, still looking for any news on the Rotolite app updates. Given up using it now. Just go back to manually adjusting everything. Dave, I'll be honest with you, man. I do that as well. That's not you not doing it properly. Yeah, that's what I do as well. It just keeps dropping out. And I'm just like, well, whatever. Like, there is times where I've got like a light in a tree or on top of a wardrobe, and obviously I just use the app for that. But yeah, for the most part, I just do it manually, you know. So I haven't heard anything more on the app, sadly. Yeah. So Juno says it sounds like a big loss for Birmingham though. I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, that show up there in Birmingham has been, like I said, I've been going up there for many years. You know, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You know, and you know, I get it. There's less people going up there. You got to remember, old fogies like me, pre-internet, it was like, oh cool, we get to see like the new kit, and it was like, wow, you know, and like the show was massive back then. You know, I remember when I was demoing for Bowens, you know, it was like, it was, you know, standing room only as far as the eye could see, right? And you're on stage doing all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's like it's not even a glimpse of what that was, right? Today, it's just they just can't get the numbers. So, you know, and they've kindly been like shrinking the hall, like so that it feels busier. But I noticed Sony stand was colossal up there, and I think that they were given a far larger stand. I'm sure they paid for a very large stand, but like most of their stand was empty. Most of the Sony stand was empty. I didn't even think they could fill it. You know, I think they were given extra space there to kind of fill up the hall, as it were. So that, you know, I think they have been struggling up there with footfall for sure. Yeah. So Elizabeth says, boo to London, Excel is a right pain to get to. I haven't been there. Yeah, I haven't been there, Liz. Yeah, the hotels are so expensive. Again, that is a major contributing factor. Yeah, loads of catwalks and shows I do as a makeup artist and moved out of London. Okay, so, I mean, there you go. So Liz there, you know, has obviously been in the heart of it, has been there, and, you know, speaking from experience, saying, you know, it's going to be pain in the ass. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, everything that you're saying there sounds true. Yeah, at least I can catch the train. Only £100 train ticket. Yeah, look, I don't mean to bring out all the moody British talking here about the weather and the cost of train prices, but I agree, Alan. What a joke. Yeah, I agree. So Norm says, love flying into London City airport from Ireland. Yeah, I've only used London City once. Yeah, super quick airport, just boom, straight in and out. Yeah, I think if you're an international person coming in, I mean, that's just super easy. I mean, you could practically go in and out in a day, right? You know, you might not even need to spend the night. Like, super convenient. Yeah. Steve says, I cannot do London. Avoid it at all costs where possible. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people like that, Dave. Yeah, a lot of people like that. I mean, I could certainly live without it. I certainly, you know, use it for work and that sort of thing. But you know, I definitely hear where you're coming from. Yeah. Liz says, nice Italian restaurant close though that I always go to. My last hotel was £900 for 3 nights and no breakfast. So they really absolutely rail you for, you know, like they know that you're going to be staying around that area. £900 for 3 nights. No breakfast. Mate, that is rough. Christ. Right. Who lives in London? Who can we crash with? Is there anybody in chat lives in London that's got a spare sofa? Obviously DM me. Jamie, London, not for me. So okay, Jamie, so you won't be going next year. Okay, interesting. Yeah. I mean, you are not alone. There's a lot of people like that. Yeah. Alan says not good wheelchair traveling into London. Oh, okay, fair enough, Alan. Yeah, I know that's right. You were there with your partner there in a wheelchair. Yeah, fair enough. You're talking about public transport because I imagine the Expo has got to be pretty good, right, for that. But yeah. So Phil says London would be easier for me to fly in and out of. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're flying in, I should think that'd be a dream. Yeah, yeah. Liz says nope. I will shop online for sure. So you won't be going next year, Liz. Okay, okay. I also told Rod about the app. All he said was update the firmware. I mean, I will be honest and say that did help me, but I don't know what firmware you were on. Yeah. So Steve says I would go maybe 1 or 2 days, but commute from South Coast rather than stay up there. Oh, really, Steve? Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. George says the app has never worked properly. Yeah, I don't know what it is about apps. Yeah, it seems to be been around a long time, but there seems to be a thing that a lot of these companies struggle with. So I had some feedback on my article. You guys remember the article I posted last week about the Godox TL30K2 thing, and in the article I was like, look, I don't bother with these lighting apps. Here it is. Here's a link to it. If you want to use it, by all means, try it out for yourselves. And like one of the pieces of feedback I got, which was good feedback, it was like, look, if you're going to do a review, make sure you cover the app because the app is terrible. And this is Godox, right? This is the Godox Lite app. So, and this is that's huge, right? So it does seem that these companies really struggle with these lighting apps, and it's got to deal with some syncing and dropping out. Does anybody use a lighting app that works? And I mean, really works. I mean, okay, the occasional dropout, fine, but I mean, for the most part, does anybody use any of these lighting apps for specific products that, yeah, love it, always use it? Steve says, I'm wondering about Pixel Pro. They are Midlands company. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just down the road for them, and it's gonna be a major haul. You got to remember as well that a lot of their staff are up there, and I was chatting to some of their staff there yesterday, and they were like, you know what, I commute to the show, right? I can just drive to the show. I don't have to stay overnight anywhere. I can just commute. So it did seem that several of the staff were like, no, I'm not going down to London next year. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Pixel Pro does, how they handle it. I mean, they'll definitely have a presence, but maybe it'll be a smaller booth, less staff, that sort of thing. But in fact, whilst we're talking about that, I will just mention that really interesting to see a distinct lack of flash lighting up there at the show. And you may be like, well, come on, Jake, everybody's using LED, but you got to Profoto was not there, Elencrom was not there at the show, and to my knowledge, that's a first, right? Was Broncolor up there? I didn't see them. I mean, if they were, they certainly didn't have a major stand. So Pixel Pro with Godox there are absolutely just mopping up. People still using flash. Yeah, they were just making money hand over fist up there. Good for them. So I'd be amazed if Pixel Pro didn't have a presence next year. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I told him. I know, Jay. Yeah, I told him that you got the got the flower. Bless you. Yeah. It is, Jocelyn. Yeah, it is moving to London XL next year. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I don't think it would be too much of a pain in the ass for me to commute. It would be a major ball ache to it. Yeah. I imagine a fair few of the traders will be put off higher prices to exhibit they're going up. I agree, Dave. I'm sure there'd be, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how many because a lot of exhibitors have already had to kind of bow out because of cost, and it's only going to get more expensive being in London. Yeah, the light app is always shit. Yeah, so you're talking about the Godox one, right, Vlad? Yeah, I have a solution. My DIY LEDs can connect to Wi-Fi network, and since I'm already broadcasting Wi-Fi from a router under my camera to remote control the camera, it makes it a breeze. No, not I'm just gonna move my hand, and that's call me old fashioned, but I'm just gonna move my hand. I think it's a case of we have to have an app. I agree, Dave. Yeah, for this product, but very little actually goes into it, other than the ability to say it has its own app. Look, I wouldn't be at all surprised if you're right, Dave. Yeah, I do find it odd though, because I would say that the vast majority of all these people buying their products actually need to use an app, though, right? It seems weird. Yeah. The solution is to use proper Wi-Fi router as a central hub instead of connecting it to a phone to every device around. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. There was a poor girl up at the show there, and she was trying to shoot wirelessly. Jesus Christ, man! That's. I mean, you don't need to be on stage for too long to realize that you never shoot wirelessly, right? That's just So I think it was a case of showing people the back of camera. Never a good look. Steve says Broncolor used to be a part of the Manfrotto stand, which used to be huge. True, Steve. Yeah, true. Yeah. Do they own it? Like, do one of those own each other, or is? I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong though. Do one of those own one another? Yeah. It's easier for us to get to Excel. I go there for Pro. Oh, you've been there, have you, Justin? Okay, yeah. And drive to 12 May ahead, and then. Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. They had a very small presence. Oh, okay. I didn't even see it. Yeah. How you doing, James? Yeah. I say it's easier. It's not just less driving. It still take you about 2 hours. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, it took us what, 2 hours to pretty much get in to the NEC from here, and that is so much further away than London is, and you guarantee it'll take you 2 hours to get into London. Yeah. Jake needs to tell everyone about his amazing jacket he wore yesterday. What? I mean, that's just my normal jacket, Jamie. I don't want to brag, but you see those pictures I just shared of Jocelyn, Jamie, on Facebook and Instagram. You see that Jocelyn's got a yellow version of that jacket in those images. Snow says, I read an article about it 2 weeks ago about the electric toothbrush contributing to DDoS attacks. Oh, brilliant. When are we going to get sponsored by Machine 56? Right? I know. Come on. I'm running custom firmware on my routers. Have nice firewalls and rules. Let them come. Also, my LEDs are running custom code. Jesus. Okay. All right, Vlad. Putting the red lights into a softbox basically means having to use that's true, Dave. Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah, you do. Yeah, they are well tucked in there. Unless you want to climb up and down, pull open the Velcro. Yeah, and then get your head in there. No, you're right, mate. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Jamie. I'm not falling for it. In other words, it was abusing toothbrushes all along. I mean, we all saw it coming, right? Even with the Electrum, you still can't control color remotely. You need the app. Oh, really, Dave? So even the Electrum, you have to use the app to do that. That's nuts. Yeah, I reckon I'll end up staying at Heathrow. Okay, yeah, I can see that, Phil. Yeah. We're never allowed to wear both jackets together. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's the news, guys. I shall see half as many of you next year at London. I wonder if it'll encourage, because no offense to Londoners, but they do not want to leave London, right? So I wonder if you got everybody. Well, I'm not going into London, but all the Londoners also don't ever want to leave London. Like, I'm not going north of the river. Are you crazy? So you could find that there's tons of people who will go who have not historically been before. Right, let's have a look at some images, right? Let's have a look at some images that you guys have been working on. Let's see what we got. And have a quick flick through. We got some latecomers. Brett, you're always late. Always late. Okay. Brett, you in chat? You lurking? You just thought you'd drive by us your image. Let's have a look. So, ooh, Anders looking good, man. Man after my own heart. This is a classic setup. One of my faves. This is a long exposure shot with blue LED on the background, blue fill light, and ordinary white light in a beauty dish above. Always hard to find the right amount of camera movement when doing this kind of shot. That's true. That's true. And are you in chat here? And are you in chat, or you just dump your image and run? I thought I saw you at some point. Yeah. If you are in chat, I'd be interested to know the sort of shutter speed that you're using on this. Like how long have you got the camera open for? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice, Anders, you are here. Yeah. So what was the shutter speed on this? You know, obviously you got the flash on the face and that sort of stuff. But how long do you like to play with? I think for myself, it's usually around about 1 second. I mean, you can go to 2 seconds, but you just gotta be like real careful. Yeah, 1 second. There you go. Yeah, it's about the same as me. Perfect. Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, these types of shots are, whenever I post and share them, right, they're always super popular. These long exposure ones, and what I find really weird about that is that people, like, it's probably as you guys know, I do my online workshops, right? So what I find weird about it is that the long exposure images are among my most popular, but the long exposure teachings is among my least popular. Kind of weird to me, because I would have thought that it would be the other way around. But yeah. So I think you're on the right track with this, Andrew. This is an excellent example of it. I think you've done a really good job of executing this. I think you've got great movement there. Like, the model is crisp. This is looking good. It's looking good. I can see you kind of struggling a little bit with the blotchy background and stuff here, but kind of difficult to get that balance right when you've got, I want long exposure in terms of I want an extended period of time with color. So it gets kind of tricky, because, as I'm sure you're aware, like, the longer you leave this light here, like, the brighter it gets and the more it's just going to get bleached out. So I think, doing it with, the white light is definitely easier. So I think you've done a really good job with the blue here to maintain the color. Yeah, really good. Again, easier with LEDs, right? Back in the day when I was doing this with hot lights, your tungsten, you got to use your CTB gels, and then you got to use your regular gels, and then everything starts to melt within about 8 seconds. So yeah, using the LEDs is just so much easier now. This is really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, like it a lot. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, really nice. Really want to do some more long exposure work, but always checking out. Yeah, I get it, Liz. I do, yeah, because it is one of those things where it's like, where do I start? There's so much to think about, and it's kind of it's a lot slower process. When you're shooting with flash or whatever, you just pop. You can get the model's getting into the motions and cool, but with long exposure, it's real slow, and you're in a dark room. The model doesn't know what to do. It takes ages to focus. It is. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I just want to get some photos. Yeah. Dave says, "Ooh, Sigma UK announcing an announcement on the 26th at 12 p.m. What could that mean? What any idea what that could be, Dave? Yeah. Could you drop a link for the long exposure portrait articles, Jake? I don't have an article on it. It's just my workshops. Yeah. That is a paywall, I'm afraid. It's a paywall. Yeah. But there is other articles on my site that talk about long exposure. Yeah. Sigma 50 1.2. How much would that be? Christ, 1.2. Yeah, long exposure shots that really slow down the pace of the shoot. It does, Anders. Yeah, I agree with you. And it's really weird as well, because you always think you've been shooting for a while, right? And you think, oh, I've got loads here, and you quickly scroll through them, and you've taken like 10, 15 shots. It's like, shit. Yeah, so if you are going to be doing long exposure, Liz or anybody else, definitely be prepared to kind of like take twice as long, if not longer, to get the same amount of shots. Yeah. The other downside of long exposure is there's a lot of elements that kind of need to fall into place. you know, like I said, Anders doesn't have any light on the model here because she would be blurred, so he's only got the flash going off. So, you know, he's looking at silhouette, so it's kind of difficult to focus, so that can kind of take time to focus and all that sort of thing. So you can't really see her pose because she's in the dark, and so like that there is a certain pace to it, and you just got to be mindful of the fact that it's going to take longer. Yeah, yeah. No idea, just a virus. Okay, yeah. More Sony lenses. Yeah. Right, let's have a look at Liz's shot here then. So I think Liz was up there on Sunday. I'm sorry I missed you, Liz. I was up there on the Monday. But yeah, so Liz says I was going to share a proper shoot, but this was a quick snap from the Rhodolite stand at the show on Sunday. Hard to wrestle my way through the togs to get this shot. As a female tog, though, who is now saving for an S-Series Lumix. Oh, you said you've fallen in love. Yeah, I was ignored at every stand. So I had to accost people for info on stuff I wanted to buy. Anyway, so how can I do a cool edit of this for the creatives involved? Liz, I will say that I thought there was far less women up there this time around. I've certainly been up there. I mean, what was it, 18 months ago when I was doing the demos and stuff for Pixar Pro, there was always a huge number of ladies watching in the crowd. And the reason I remember that is because I remember commenting on it, you know, because it didn't used to be like that. This year, it was weird though. I mean, I hardly saw any ladies walking about. It was weird. I mean, apart from obviously the models and that sort of stuff, but and some begrudging partners. But yeah, other than that, it was weird. Yeah, so it is still shitty that people are kind of ignoring you to the point of thinking that you're somebody's partner rather than an actual photographer is pretty dumb. But it was good to see there was a bunch of female speakers up there on the main stage though, Liz. So that was good. That was good to see that at least. Yeah. And I saw She Clicks had a presence up there as well, which is good. Yeah, so good for them. So let's have a look. Let's have a quick look here in let me just, I was actually working on a project. Just let me check. I close those down a second. Yeah. Okay. No, you're good. I just wanted to check that I wasn't, working on something that I shouldn't be sharing just yet. It's not like I'd have to delete another VOD, right? Okay. So can I get the menu to come up? That'd be great. Okay, cool. Just going to change this real quick. Cool. Okay. So what Liz was kind of talking about, an edit to share with the other creatives and that sort of thing. And I mean, Liz, it looks like you've done a beautiful job already. I mean, there's almost nothing that needs to be done to this. Like, you've done 95% of it here, really. And all I'm going to be kind of doing is just playing with a little bit of a color grade just for the sake of it. There is nothing wrong with what you've already got here, especially in terms of color, and everything is looking good. Skin's looking excellent. Skin's looking really good in terms of the quality. Like, it's not overdone. Yeah, I've done an excellent job on the retouch here. There's really good. Yeah. So that's excellent. I would, again, maybe it's just me, but I still feel that this is just a touch bright. Could ease off on the brightness on this, but we can kind of have a look at that in a minute. One thing that I'm kind of gonna just do here is I'm just gonna real quickly just check some of the skin here, and I'm just gonna do that by creating a new layer. And I'm just going to change this to soft light and then fill it 50% grey. Okay, so at the moment we can't see that because soft light hides everything that's 50% grey. And what I want to do is I just want to see if there's any kind of imperfections on the skin that we need to just have a look at. So I'm just going to create a curves layer, and I'm just going to change the blend mode of this to multiply. Now, it doesn't really do anything. It's just the same as if I was just to darken it down, but multiply just makes the image darker, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to see any of these imperfections, if you like, in the skin. I'm just going to create a hue saturation layer, and I'm just going to bring all the saturation all the way down. So what's happening here is by removing the color, we're not distracted by color, we're just looking at the light and dark. And what that light and dark breaks down into is, you know, any little bumps or bags or, you know, anything that we kind of need to, you know, maybe lighten or darken down. So these are what we call like check layers, right? So once we're done, we can just delete these, right? And, you know, those of you that have, you know, kind of been on my workshop and stuff in the past know that I just have an action that I run, and it just does exactly that. So now what do? Well, we make sure we're on the grey layer here, and then we just make sure we've got pure white brush, and, you know, just bring it down to like 6%, 10%, something like that. And I'm just going to kind of just lighten this up a tiny bit. I don't think there's, like I said, there's really hardly anything to do here at all. It's really minimal. And again, we're already, I think Liz has probably already sharpened this as well. So, you know, I'm just working on a JPEG here as well, but we still got enough data for us to give us the idea. And this is like this process here is actually one of the hardest processes to do. And the reason I say that is because for the most part, like most of my retouching is, you know, once you've done it a couple of times, is, you know, you can almost break it down into an action, right? Whereas this is one of the few things that you really have to be kind of paying attention to and know what you're kind of looking for, you know. But yeah, for the most part, this is going to be the most time-consuming part of any retouching process. And yeah, Liz has already done 95% of it already, so we don't need to worry too much. So Liz has actually left in some of these lines here, and I would do exactly the same thing. Like, I don't think, you know, a lot of people would take those away, and I don't think you should. I think it just looks very, very fake as soon as you do that. So I would do it the way that Liz has already done it, like retouching the skin without removing hardly any of the texture. Like, all of this texture looks beautiful here. So here we can, it's kind of making a personal decision as to whether to kind of remove this slight shadow here on the cheek. Again, it's going to come down to personal preference, but I'm just going to soften it up a little bit here. And don't forget, we can switch back to black paint. If you think we've gone too far, switch back to black paint. You usually have to reduce the paint a little bit in terms of the opacity, just because the black will be really prominent. So I've gone down to like 4% here. And then you can just hit the X key to switch between the black and the white. So the reason I keep zooming out is to kind of see everything as a whole. You know, it's all well to zoom in, but sometimes you really can't see what it is you're working on when you're too close. But yeah. See, like here. Switch to black paint. Come over here. Now, normally I would have my tablet plugged in, but it is not plugged in. Hence why you can hear my mouse working overtime. But yeah, if you've got a tablet and a pen, definitely use that. Okay, so you can kind of see what we're doing there, right? So that's off and then on. And then maybe you just come in here on the lip a little bit, just soften that up just a tiny bit. So off and on. So really just, you know, just trying to open up these just these planes of light, right? So making sure that everything is just as smooth of a transition into one plane into another, right? That's really all that's going on there. Okay. So we could kind of fine tune and fuss over that a little bit more, but for now, let's just kind of move on. Let's leave it there for now. So we've got that, and then I do tend to like to just give like an overall skin color, right? So I'm going to create a new layer, change this to color, and so yeah, I know that color was just off your screen there, but basically this layer is now set to color. So now we can come in here and then choose a skin tone to kind of give everything, lock in one single skin color as opposed to just having lots of different colors all over the place with lighting and that sort of thing. Maybe there's a tiny imperfection in the makeup, just all that sort of stuff's going to help tighten it up. So how do we choose our skin color here then, really? Well, for the most part, we want to be thinking about like a kind of a mid-tone. Like, there's no point in me taking like a skin tone down here in the shadow, right? It's darker, and there's not much point in me taking like a skin tone here on the nose, like super bright, right? So what we're kind of looking for is somewhere in the neutral range, and what we're looking at neutral range is going to be the B here, almost like the brightness, right? 84%. So neutral is going to be like down there. So we're looking at somewhere around 50-60%. This is a very bright image though, so I'm kind of aware that our neutral is probably going to be about somewhere around the 60 range. So yeah, there you go, something like that. 67 down here, looking good. Just okay that. And then we can just take a big brush and then just paint 100% paint on the skin area here. And we don't need to be too precious about this because we're going to do a couple of things in a second that will help. But it's also useful just to make sure we include the neck skin and chest skin as well. Okay, now just hold down the option key and click on the eyeball here and it'll hide everything just to make sure that everything's covered, because sometimes you can't really tell. Okay, so that's looking suitably horrendous. So now we just need to kind of make sure that the shadows shine through from underneath and the highlights also shine through from underneath. So we do that by just double clicking on the right hand side. And then here we can hold down the option key and kind of split these sliders here. So what this is doing is, like I said, is showing us the underlying color, i.e. black, through. So if I just drag this across, if you just watch the eyeliner and lashes and stuff here, see how they're kind of hidden, and I drag this across and now they kind of appear. Right. So it's looking pretty crunchy there at the moment, so we need to kind of feather it out. So what I do when I'm doing this color layer is I just hold down the option key, separate this black, bring it all the way over there, separate this white on this side and bring it all the way over there. Okay, and then just okay that. So that's going to kind of help to lock in one sort of mid-tone skin color across the face, and then we can kind of mask out the eyes just to make doubly sure, right? So I'll just take black paint, 100%. I've created a mask down here, and I'm just bringing the eyes back. And we've probably got some. Oh, we've got a little bit of makeup up there. You can grab that, and the lips as well. You can grab those. Now, for the most part, you saw up here before we did that, it was kind of cutting into the hair and that sort of thing. So don't forget to just kind of just roughly mask out the hair to make sure there's none of that skin tone going on there. We were pretty generous down here as well. We don't need to be super precious with this, but you just got to make sure that it's not affecting anything, like like the heavy tones, like the hair and stuff. You could see as I masked it out there, get the skin tone off of that. Okay, so we've got that. Now, like I said, this is feeling, it's feeling a little bit bright for me. So I'm going to look at darkening that down. Remember this was my check layers. We can delete that. We don't need those anymore. Now look, there's so many ways that we can go about kind of darkening this down. One way is going to be to actually create a curves layer and then come up to image and apply image. right? And what this does is it basically creates, as you can see here, this mask of the light and dark in the image itself. So at the moment, with it being all the layers merged, RGB, and we don't want it inverted, you see how it changes, right? So we want the highlights to be our selected area, so just okay that. Okay. If you wanted this is the mask, by the way, so everything that we do in this curves layer is going to be affecting the white areas in the mask, which as we want is like the brighter areas, right? So we can kind of just, if you're not sure, just grab the hand tool and just come here and then just click down like that. Okay, and then you really want to make sure it's not affecting those shadows too much, but we can see like already that's kind of helping a little bit. Okay, so we just kind of tied it up just a tiny bit there, nothing crazy, but now we can kind of start to play with some of these colors, right? Because and the reason I thought this would be a good one to use is because we have this uniform sort of yellows and golds and peaches and stuff here in the outfit, the skin, and then we have that very completely contrasting color with the green in the background. So already this is kind of, you know, color graded in camera, as it were, with the styling in the background, which is really nice. And it's very easy for us to now color grade that on top, right? So you can color grade in any number of ways you want, but the one that I've kind of been using for many years now is the channel mixer. Okay, and super powerful tool. I'm just going to go over and start playing with this in a second, but I'm just going to skip back here to make sure I'm not missing anything in here. So hopefully, yeah, so Vlad answered that, or asked that question, and rightly so. He's asking, do I normally dodge and burn with a mouse? Yeah, and yeah, so no, I do not. Like I said, I'm usually using the pen tool, just because I don't have it plugged in. Now this tablet works via Bluetooth, but it's not as responsive as I'd like, so I normally have it plugged in. I have the second monitor plugged into where I normally have the pen tool in, but it's fine for now. Yeah. Sometimes it can look too cartoony with the lines and roofs. I agree, Lizzie. I agree. It does look, yeah. I think you need to leave some of the actual character there. Yeah. Jake, what type of mouse do you use? I swear by the large rollable Logitech. I'm using the MX Master. I thought it had a number after it, but yeah, no, it's just the MX Master. I thought it might have been a 3 or something like that, but no, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Although I've broken the scroll wheel pretty quickly, but I managed to get it on like Black Friday on Amazon or something like that. I was amazed at how much you can spend on mouses. Yeah. I know, Jamie. Yeah, because it's weird, right? When people start using tablets to retouch, when they've used their mouse for years and years, it's like, oh, I can't do it. And then you get used to a tablet, and then going back to a mouse and retouching is like, how on earth did we ever used to do anything with a mouse? Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I think this mouse was this mouse came highly recommended by somebody in chat. I think so. That's why I got it. Yeah. Oh, you got the vertical one, yeah. So the vertical, yeah, she's got the vertical mouse. So it's weird, yeah. It's like a weird hybrid between mouse and pen. Yeah. Okay, let's have a play with some of these colors then, right? So we're going to come in here, and what's kind of weird, actually, I'll tell you about this. So years ago, we on stream started to play with channel mixers, right? And I got you guys to submit images, and I made some channel mixer color grades from your images from you guys in chat, and then I made an article from that post, right? And I was like, it was three color grades basically using the channel mixer. Do you know what has every single year since been the most popular article on my website? Is that Photoshop channel mixer article. So weird. That article gets so much traffic. I have no idea what. I have no idea why is nobody talking about channel mixers out there. It's bizarre. Yeah, it's so weird. Like that one article of, like I said, it's just your images and me color grading them and using the channel mixer is like every single year is the top article. Bizarre. Yeah. Okay, so those of you who don't know, the channel mixer here, you open it up, you've got red, green, and blue, right? And each of these, we can control the colors in each of them here. So if you're not aware, like in the channels here, like this is, so like this is the red channel, right? This is the green channel, and this is the blue channel in your RGB image. So, you know, we can kind of see that we've got, you know, a lot in the red channel, a decent amount in the green, and then a little bit less in the blue. Okay, that's really what it breaks down to, and that's what we're kind of affecting here. Okay, so it depends where you want to start, but for the most part, when working on portraits, like the red, like we've just seen, like that's where a lot of the data is. So sometimes working with the red can be kind of like the easiest place to start. Yeah. So I don't know, we just kind of want to come in here and start moving some stuff around and seeing if there's anything that kind of stands out to us. But one thing that's quite nice is to come down here, take out a lot of blue and the red, and then bring this up. So already you can see, and I mean, I haven't really done too much here. That's looking already not too bad, right? So already you can see, right, we're starting to lock in some of these colors, right? And this is what color grade is. A color grade is taking as many colors as you can in an image and grouping them together into a smaller group whilst the image kind of still makes sense. So here what we've got these, you know, oranges and peaches and that sort of thing, and we're kind of bringing in some of these other colors here in the background, right? You can see that, right? These greens and stuff, actually starting to bring them in line. What we're also doing is we're also making sure that all these colors here in this headdress and this, you know, outfit here are all starting to come into the same group, and also the skin tone, right? Because as we know, as we just saw in the RGB channels, we just saw how much data is in this red channel. You know, everything that we do here in the red is going to be heavily affecting the skin tone. So we're really bringing, you know, all these in line now. Okay, so it's looking okay, but we've only played with the red so far. So let's come down here and I'll start playing with the greens, and you know, we want to be thinking about following the same line that we were before, right? You know, I mean, so really we're just kind of doubling down on what we've already done, you know, because we know from the channels here, right, there's nowhere near as much, you know, not as much data as there is in the red, so we're going to have less of a huge difference here, but still plenty to play with. Let's see, can we go even more? Good too. Here we go. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do these on separate channels so you can actually see exactly what each of them is doing, right? Let's try and remember what that was. Let's just say 20, 40, 40, just to make it easier for me to remember. Oh no, the green has to be 100. Yeah. Okay, so at the moment, right, all that's going on this layer is the red, right? The green is fine, and the blue is fine. Okay, so let's do the green separately so we can turn these off and on. And I would recommend you do this anyway, just because it gets easier to kind of control and adjust what you need to adjust, right? Did I say 20, 40, 40 or something? Something like that. I forget now. Those eyes, I presume you've done some work on the eyes already, right, Liz? That's why they're kind of jumping out at us here. Yeah. Okay. So again, you can see still trying to push in these oranges, right? Still trying to push in like these greens from behind, which is one of the main goals that I wanted to do here, was to push these greens into the colors that we've already got in the image here with these peaches and oranges. And you know, for the most part, we've done a pretty good job of doing that. So let's create another layer here. This will be the blue, right? So like this is gonna have the least in it, but the blue is also going to be dealing a lot with the highlights in this image. So we've got to be, you know, we've got to be careful to make sure we don't discolor those highlights too much. May also be in some of the shadows here as well. So sometimes when you start, you want to be, you know, making some dramatic adjustments and see if anything jumps out at you, right? You know, this is kind of maybe a bit much. The other thing as well, that when you're working on it on a separate layer like this, is you can just reset it like that and then everything goes back. Yeah. Kind of interesting how you can get that color like that. And I don't like this, but I'm just curious at the moment as to how far you can take that. It's kind of crazy how far you can push that color palette though. You can really just make everything all fall into that one kind of peachy color. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. So here I might just bring up the blues here a little bit, right? Don't need to do too much. Darken down these reds a tiny bit. So here we go, yeah. So we can put this in a group, right? We can have a look at that. So it's definitely a warmer look. Just bringing everything together like that, just bringing all these together. We've done a pretty good job of maintaining that skin tone. But I'm really happy with how we've managed to lock these very distinct green colors in the background. We've managed to bring them into the colors in the foreground area here. So actually done a really good job of that. And like the skin actually looks pretty good. I mean, you know, you could probably come back to that after a cup of tea and maybe tweak that, but for the most part, not too bad. Just curious about the brightness here again. I just want to create another layer here. One thing that you could do, I mean, you want to make sure that you change this to luminosity on this curves layer, right? So that means that you're only going to be affecting the brightness here. You're not affecting the color. So that makes it a little bit easier. And I kind of just want to come in here again. Just darken that. The other thing you can be mindful of as well, remember I said to you before about the channels? Like this is bright in the red channel, right? We know that's where it is. So we could try and target the reds here as well. Remember, we're working on a luminosity, so this should only darken. It shouldn't affect the color. And we can see immediately there, just darkening that down kind of does help a little bit. Okay. I might dial back the eyes a little bit if I was going to do it, but I think, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, that's looking good. Let's just group that for a second. Well, this is a warm orangey one. Let's do like a colder one. Okay, let's see if we can take it in a different way. Okay. So from experience, I know that I can almost take out all the green from this and turn it into like a darker blue color. That's in my mind. That's kind of where I'm going with this green. That's where I want to take it in a minute. And that's, I only know that from experience with trying to remove green from images in the past as well. But I mean, maybe we start there with the blue. Could start there with the blue. It makes it easier, right? You can start to see it going there. Definitely. Definitely starting to see something there. Play with it. Let's move on for now. Let's see. I'm gonna have to come back to that. The other thing as well with these channels is you may not be able to fix everything in each channel before you're able to move on. Maybe you just got to be mindful that you're going to have to change something later on in here as well. So let's have a look. So let's have a look here. So here we go. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Again, it's pretty bright, but we can and I should have known. I should have started with the green first. Yeah, I mean, that's stupid of me. We know that, you know, like in the image itself, like we know that this is green back here, and what I wanted to do was target these greens. So I should have started with the green. Stupid, really. Okay, let's have a look at something like the reds now. What can we do with that? This is kind of cool though. Quite like that. You might have to tone it down a little bit in the reds, but yeah, I can see that. So we've really nuked that green now, going into that colder look, but we still managed to hang on to those skin tones, and still managed to bring everything into the same color pool there as well. Okay, so we could fuss over that for a long time, but like I'm happy with that for now. Again, we want to make sure we want to darken this down. Again, I think the image is a little bit too bright. We just want to make sure that we can kind of bring that in, change that curve layer to luminosity, bring it down. Again, this is only going to be affecting the color, the luminance, or the brightness of the layer. Not bad, not bad. Okay, that's definitely usable. Okay, so let's group that, and we got like a slightly colder one here. Okay, so the face is going to be the same, but it gives you a good example. This is where we were, right? This is the original, right? This is where we were And then we can have our warmer one here, almost autumnal, bringing this in. Again, I would obviously definitely need to work on the eyes. Maybe just need to soften them a little bit. But I really like that grade. I think it's a beautiful grade that is, you know, really going to pop. And then same with this one. Difficult to say which one I prefer. Maybe this one. I am a bit of a sucker for the colder grades, but like that is good. I really do like that contrast. She's really popping off that background there. Yeah. And look, these channel mixers are a pain in the ass to use. They are. But if you can get used to them, they're so strong. Yeah, they're so strong. And you normally just see people talking about curves and that sort of thing, which is fine. But yeah, these can be incredibly strong, and you know it does such a good job of harmonizing these colors. You know, bringing them into this pool, which I really like. Yeah, really good. I mean, I absolutely love that. It's gorgeous. Yeah, really nice. I'll debut using upright mouse as well. No wrist ache from the still no match for touchscreen pen. That true. Yeah, I still use a mouse. Need to get down. Because in the tablets, you still do you, Liz? Jesus, man. Honestly, you will never look back. I promise you. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Liz. No worries. Yeah. But yeah, great image, beautiful image. Yeah. Make sure you. You have sent it to her. That's right. She shared it on her stories. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I bet she loved it. Yeah. Right, so we've got an image here from Warren. Second attempt at this technique. First time using a beauty dish. Right, that's where those highlights are coming from. Okay. 3 magenta gels, 2 behind, feathered, left, right, 1 facing up from below, all in soft boxes. Blue light from above. Beauty dish, 100mm lens. f3.2, ISO 250, shuts people on 200. Okay. I'm just fudging my way through, but enjoying it as I go. I mean, that's the way it should be, Warren. That's the way it should be. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said to you at the start, and as soon as I saw this image, boom, like straight away, loving the shine and that sort of thing. It's really good. And you mentioned the beauty dish, kind of makes sense. We've got these nice, beautiful highlights, big highlights on this leather jacket. You don't have the background going to jet black. It's really nice to see, because a lot of people, kind of let that background fade off into just pure like jet black, and we just lose that subject. So I think you've done a really good job making sure we've got like some data back here, which is nice. Big highlights on the subjects and stuff here. And I mean, obviously there's a lot of skin retouching that needs to be done when we're using very strong colors like this, and we're really cranking the the shine and that sort of thing. So there is a lot of skin retouching that needs to be done here, just on the skin, just in terms of looking blotchy and that sort of thing. You're not doing anything wrong. That's just the nature of shooting with colors like this. It just does require a little bit of TLC. The only other thing here in terms of like the main feedback for this is either where that beauty dish is or where she is. It just feels like her eyes are pretty hooded. I just felt like if we just brought that chin up just a tiny bit, it would really opened up a little bit more light on the face. Or I don't know how high that beauty dish is, like whether we can just bring it down and just have it like we're literally just shooting underneath it. But yeah, I think it's excellent job. Yeah, really good. Yeah, and we just we're kind of picking holes here at the minute. For the most part, you've definitely got the shot there. It's just going to require a little bit of retouching, and that is just the nature of working with very strong colors like that. We've got George's shot here. Nice one, George. ISO 640, 24mm. Okay, 2.8. Had the light set to something like 9000K. Only because I did the review of those TL30s. I don't think they go to 9000K, George. So I think they can go to 6000. Also had the Neo 3 on a cyan hue, and did the rest of the white balancing camera. Okay. Oh, so you've just cranked the white balance of the camera all the way over. Gotcha. And used a black backdrop, but left the floor white for bounce. Gotcha. This is really cool, man. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's great to see that you're playing with all these. Was Rob in the studio with you? Like, did he see this? Was he giving you a hand with this? Because you've obviously taken every LED tube you could find in the studio, and put them in here. Which is, I mean, because is this his water droplet cage that he's built out of scaffolding, which is kind of nuts. This is cool. Yeah, again, we want to make sure we're getting just a little bit more light into the subject's face here. So just kind of bring that chin up a tiny bit. Just be careful of this. But this is an easy fix in Photoshop, right? We can just lose that. That's fine. And then it's how industrial do we want this to look, right? How industrial do we want it to look? Because we've got, do we want to kind of extend this in Photoshop out here? I'd probably just extend that, lose this here, and I don't know, like, do we want to extend it in Photoshop here, like behind here, with these poles, with these tubes? Don't know. Yeah, but for the most part, loving the reflections on the outfit here. This is a really great choice of outfit. Like it a lot. I think it works really, really well. But yeah, my only concern here is that obviously the face is a little bit blurred. I'm not sure whether that's because you're shooting at. You said you were shooting at what ISO? Oh, 640. Shouldn't be too bad. So I'm just worried about the focus there on the face. Just feels a little bit soft. And we got a lot of different colors in shots. What I mean by that is you've kind of said to me that you've cranked it in post. So we kind of want to make sure that these, if we want these lights to kind of all look the same afterwards, we kind of want to try and keep them either more contrasty in camera, or we want to keep them kind of all the same. Because what we've got here is we've got like this kind of steel blue and then a slightly different cyan here. So I would try and think, if you're going to do like a monochrome shot like this, which is like a single color, I think you kind of want to do the single color. So if not all of these had RGB capabilities, maybe you just crank them all over to, as cold as they'll go, like 6,000, and then adjust the color grade afterwards. Maybe that could be a way. Yeah, he was in the office working. Yeah, some of those tubes on my own. Oh, nice. Okay. By the way, there's a black mist filter too. Nice. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I was gonna ask about this here, whether you had smoke in there as well. But yeah, this kind of flaring stuff is from the Black Pro Mist, which is nice. Yeah. So that would kind of be my sort of knee-jerk reaction here, is to either go, look, we'll have some of these orange and some of them blue, or we have some of them pink and some of them blue, or we try and get them all the same color, because it would just help to kind of lock in that tone just a tiny bit more than it is at the moment. I'm sure you've seen this one here, where it's kind of all one tone and it's nice and clean. Now, I don't have the luxury of the shiny outfit like you've got, and that shiny outfit that you've got is really going to kind of double down on seeing the different colors, But I think this is excellent. Yeah, I think this is excellent. And like, maybe she's moving. Is that why she's a little bit blurred there? But yeah, I think it's really, really good. Yeah. That's cool though. That Black Pro Mist is doing a lot. If there's no smoke here, that filter is doing a lot, which is great. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Just tidy it up in post. Get rid of this sticking in here. Just lose that one up there. Maybe extend this one out here. Maybe extend this one down here if you really want to. But yeah, just tighten up some of those in post, and good to go. Yeah. Nice. A lot of fun though, right? Doing this. I mean, I bet you had tons of fun getting this in place. Again, I noticed when I did the review for these TL30s how strong that magnet was. They're really strong, the magnet on these. So you just stuck them to that metal pole, which is really, really cool. Yeah, good job. Yeah, nice. Hey, no worries, Warren. No worries. Here we go. Look, here we go. So from Vlad, you know how I love those low CRI household LED tubes? Yeah, supposed to replace the fluorescent tubes, right? Well, they have a stupidly powerful green tint to them, and that turned out to work well combined with warm studio lights. Interesting. And yeah, some of the cheaper LEDs have a horrendous green tint. But that's great that you managed to lean into it though. I'll try and drop a light diagram in the comments before the stream. Let's have a look what we got here. Oh, that's the... Okay. That's the raw. Oh, you really cranked that. Have you just color graded that in Lightroom or something, Vlad? Or have you actually painted this in with a lot more color? Or is this just Lightroom? Really, like, regardless, I really like the color combo that you've gone for. I really like that you've gone for something a little bit different rather than the, you know, traditional classic color combos. I think this is really cool. You know, the lemon and lime vibe. I think it works really well. We've got setup here. So we've got black background. We got black board. It's all Lightroom. Okay, so you haven't like painted anything in. That is just all Lightroom. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we got our yeah, our household LED tube here. 50mm, 2.2, a 30th. Nice, Vlad. Nice. ISO 200. And oh, and you're stacking the hard and soft there. Nice. Okay. That highlight there. Nice. Okay. So, oh, hello.
Behind of it. Right now I'm using my fieldwork light and a Fresnel lens modifier, and if you have a smoke machine, fill the room with some smoke. This will give you a nice light setup with upstage lighting, and more than that, your model will have something to grab on lean against for nice and relaxed poses. Frame your shot in such a way that the V-flat or door is covering at least a third of the shot. And now let's see how this looks from the perspective of the camera. For all these shots I've used the 35 and the 50mm lens, but I would encourage you to use a longer focal length if you have one. No matter if you're going for a softer look or a rough guy aesthetic, giving your model something to lean against will make for natural poses and an easy start to a photo shoot. Feel free to add more lights, and I hope you get some amazing photos. So here's a neat trick for male portraits in the studio or not. Grab a V-flat or any kind of...
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, because you are on a tripod. Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So while making this collage, I got a mixed feeling about the crop. Yeah. So looking at that image, like this, when you were showing the images there, like it's kind of a tough one, right? And the reason it's a tough one is because of the hand. I think we get away with it because of how dark it is, but it is always difficult having a hand like this high up or alongside or next to the face. Is always a tricky one. Like I think we get away with it because of how dark it is, but yeah, the crop. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think it's fine. We can see the arm here, which I think helps. Right, like if we, maybe just add just a touch more brightness here, just a little bit, just to make it even clearer that this is just not some random hand, right? Because that's what our brain is doing. It's like I cannot see that's connected. Our brain like doesn't like it. So yeah, maybe just brighten up just this tiny triangle here underneath the arm, just to really sort of hammer that home. But yeah, I think you get away with it. Yeah. I'm always a little bit of a stickler for the highlights, but I appreciate that's kind of where you sit with your highlights. You've got this snoot here, and we need to be careful. Remember, it's not just brightness, but it's the specularity. So we need to make sure that we are finding not just how bright it is, but like the actual specular highlight in terms of the reflecting off of the shiny skin into the lens. Some people can struggle with this, right? Because they'll take a light meter and go, oh yeah, it's 5.6. The camera's set to 5.6, good to go. And then they take the shot and it's like almost blown out. And it's not because it's not overexposed, it's because of the angle that light is at. So I think we can still have the hard light here And if you still wanted it bright, you can still do it bright, but maybe just kind of angle it, bring it maybe even closer around, so it's not glancing off as much. But this feels a little bit burnt out to me, so I would kind of only be my minor nitpick of just watching that. But again, I actually really love the color grade you've gone for in the end. I think it works really, really well, and I think it's cool that you kind of lent into that issue that you have with the green LEDs. I think it's all worked out nicely. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Kind of interesting how much of an impact the glasses make in this as well. I think a lot of this having this kind of almost focal feature here with the glasses makes a big difference as well. Huh. Yeah, it's nice. He is, man. I know. Yeah, like we saw him here first, Jamie. Okay, so Brett's going for, he's still doing his beauty work. This is great, Brett. This is really good. Yeah, it's really good, and this is completely different to what you would normally do, with regards to your softer stuff. This is super hard stuff. You've got tiny pinprick of light in the eyes there, which is yeah, it's nice. Still got the catch lights there. One thing as well, which is kind of nice with you having the light further away like this, or at least smaller like this, is that we kind of feel like we've got a similar tone here with the hands. Just make sure when you're retouching this that we do bring these hands down in luminance, right? Because they are, not only have we got, whatever we're doing here, we got all the sausages at the party here, but we want to make sure that they're nowhere near as bright as they are here, because they're quite dominant. So as long as we bring those down a bit, use that color mode layer that I showed you, and also bring the luminance down to these hands as well. But otherwise, and I know this is kind of the raw, as it were, I think this is bang on, man. I think this is really good. Yeah, this is really good. Yeah, really crisp. And are you in chat anymore, Brett, or have you just dumped your image and then run? What are you shooting on? Because this is nice and crisp. Are you shooting on the Nikon? Did I remember? Am I remembering that correctly? This is actually working out really well for the beauty. I mean, it's too kind of clinical a look for me, but I think it's working really well for this beauty work because it's really sharp. Yeah, I want to know what that is. Of course, it could be a Sony, but don't let me down, Brett. If that's a Sony, I'll have to eat my words. This glasses are fake. Are they fake? But don't you wear glasses? You wear glasses, don't you? Or not? I promised myself to add actual lenses in them 3 years ago, and I still wear them just for fashion. What are we going to do with you, lads? Eh? What are we going to do with you? That's brilliant. That's hilarious. Managed to get an edit during the stream. Yeah, making it a regular challenge was fun. No worries, Jimmy. That's good. I'll look in a second. Yeah. But yeah, Brett, that's it. Yeah, just fill in this gap here in post, just so it's kind of mirrored really what's going on here. There's tons of bloody retouching you need to do on the flyaways here, sadly. Bring the brightness of these hands down, just clean up these creases here, the usual stuff. But otherwise, I think this is excellent. Yeah, I'm trying to think of one way we could try and make the catch lights slightly larger. I think you can get away with it here. It is always nicer to have slightly larger catch lights than that, but I think you can get away with it nicely. I love this shaping we got on the face here, really nice. Good stuff, man, good stuff. Got a shot from Alan here. It's good to see you yesterday, Alan. Shot this with 2 strip lights as white light. Shot this with 2 strip lights as white light. Okay, sorry, yeah, my brain melted then. So, and had a 5-foot umbrella with a red gel for my Queen of Hearts. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you've got the red umbrella behind you, right? That's what you're saying here. Yeah, so you've got a massive umbrella, and that's behind. Okay. So you're kind of leaning into the coloured in the shadows. All right, I could see that. I could see that. I will say he's done a really good job with the post-pro on this with regards to the feet on the floor, right? This kind of dealing with full body shots and dealing with the mess that shadows and stuff that creates. So like the retouching you've done here is nice and clean. Yeah. Like you can do coloured shadows, right? My only... Oh, that's looking awesome. My only kind of thing with this is difficult. Yeah. So like the boots and stuff here, I'm just trying to think how we can just because these boots are supposed to be white, I don't know, and then them not being white, I don't know how it's just not quite feeling. They're just feeling like dirty rather than specifically like that. Let's have a look. Can we? See what I mean? I mean, we could even do the same with the with the top here, just to make it kind of pop a little bit. It's not going to be the same because we want to maintain the letters that are on there, but still. Yeah, that's really my only thing. I just like it just doesn't feel and like there's enough color in the shadows for it to be purposeful. So let's just grab. That's fine. We don't need to be too fussy with it, but and then the same we can do with the background here. And then we can kind of cheat a little bit by, let's have a look, can we... Change that to color, and then do this just to even out those skin tones a little bit. And then let's see if we can't. Maybe that's a bit too much, but anyway, you should get the idea of kind of where I'm going with this, with regards to just making it like less muddy on the skin, like because I understand where you're going with it, especially on the boot stuff. I can kind of see it here, and I think it's a great idea. I just think with this, we haven't like. Can we have even more shadow and really make sure that the red is there, really visible? If not, can we kind of keep it a little bit cleaner? And then we just kind of double down on the reds that are already in the shot. So we could brighten up that, and we could brighten up the shorts and stuff here. Yeah. But that aside, I think the lighting that you've got here is actually really good. I know we were chatting yesterday, and you showed me the space that you're in there, and you're not. It's not a huge, massive, expansive studio. So I think what you're doing with the space that you've got is excellent. Not only that, but I think you've done a really good job with actually making this floor look very believable. Because I'm sure there would have been more shadows there than or messier than it actually looks. So I think you've done a really good job of that. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Alan. Yeah, no worries, mate. You've done a phenomenal job first crack at it. Absolutely no question about that, because it is kind of difficult to get like the exposure right when you can't bring those lights far enough back, because you're using strip boxes, you said here. So like the hand is bright, and then by the time the light gets here, it's like kind of normal. So that like the hand to the tone on the chest here is nice, but because these hands are closer to the light, it's a little bit overexposed. It's very difficult working in those smaller spaces with that. So I think you've done a great job off the rip for sure. Yeah. Right. We got a couple more here. Let's have a look. So we got. Jamie says, I was going to show the selfie I did with Jake today, but since my last active mutiny was snuffed, I won't be showing the black and white. Yeah. So Jamie got a selfie with me yesterday and then proceeded to share it in black and white. If you can believe it, I'm actually amazed that I was even visible in the shot. I thought I'd be like some sort of vampire. You just disappear, right? You can't see it. But yeah, can't believe he tried it. So what we have here is straight out of camera, no editing, which might have a crack at during the stream. We'll have a look at that in a second. The two EOS Pros, one Neo Pro using Jake's presets. Don't have the lights in front of me to find out why I used a little bit of smoke. Couple with the black Pro mist. So yeah, I mean, like you said, you got the raw here. Let's have a look. You said you were working on a couple of edits here. Hopefully, you haven't posted it in there, or you need to refresh it. Let's have a look. Okay. Wasn't the image originally submitted, but this is what I managed during the stream because of the coloured lighting. I'm still not used to. Ended up playing around with it longer than expected. Things to consider on the shoot is things like lip colour, eyeshadow, due to the fact I had to lighten. Okay. So you've gone a different direction, but I think this is looking good. Yeah, you've really got those like contrasting colours working well with the oranges and the blues. I think this is looking good, man. Yeah. I gotta say, I really like where you've taken this compared to where it was. Yeah. Nothing wrong with where it was for sure. Where is it down here? No, it's from the same shoot. Yeah. Is that so? You've just pushed and pulled those colors. That's exactly the same color setup though. You've just pushed and pulled it in post. Yeah. That is one of the benefits without using color, without using white light though. It's cool. Yeah. This is a great edit, man. It's really good. Loving these vertical lines at the back there, kind of giving us that sense of depth as they get tighter together. I think that's really cool. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Different setup. It's different. I was going to say, but it's good though. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, this is good stuff. And Smoke and the Pro Mist doing a huge amount of work for really increasing that sense of depth in the shot as well. Yeah, really nice. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah. How long did this take you to edit then? You've been doing it whilst we've been live. How long did it take you? Right, we've been through these. Who we got left? We've got Warren's we went through, Alan's we went through, Jimmy's been. Oh, look at this Chris's one. Yeah, this is nuts. I've had to sit on this one for a little while, but it made it out to the world recently, so keen to share. This is straight out of camera, 0 post pro. Let me just say that again. This is straight out of camera, 0 post pro, cropped in camera prior to shooting. It's a single 8-second exposure, not as in. No, so it's not multiple camera exposures. So it's a single shot. I know I should post some info or BTS, but I thought it might be more fun for you to try and figure it out. I reckon you'll work it out. Bonus points if you can figure out the tempo of the music we were playing in the studio at the time. Okay, so this is brilliant, Chris, and I love seeing super experimental stuff like this where you really are kind of trying something very, very different to create something unique and trying to do it in camera as well. So hats off to you. Oh, you're in here, nice man. Yeah, just logged on. Morning from Australia. Oh, you're in Australia as well, Chris. Okay. I'm sure Tony's just getting his coffee. It'll be on in a second. But yeah, welcome. Yeah, just saying that this is really good. So I know I should post some BTS, but I thought it might be fun for you to try and figure it out. So we've got 8-second exposure, right? And we've got the model, same model. So we got flash as well as ambient. So my guess is that we have the camera mounted and we're kind of turning the camera right throughout the 8 seconds, and during that time there is an LED light slowly cycling through its rainbow colors, right? Which probably takes about usually take about 5 to 10 seconds, so that could pan out. So yeah, you got it doing its rainbow cycle, and then you are flashing the flash. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've got 8 models here. So 8-second exposure. So in theory, you could have been flashing the flash every second 8 times until it comes around. That would kind of be my guess. Yeah. Very, very cool though. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, and you must have been over the moon when you finally got it right, because this I'm sure you had several times where the model wasn't spaced and that sort of thing. So yeah, very cool. Nailed it. Although the LED had a human driving the color change. I mean, if you got a human driving the color change, then you can have it consistently going through it. That's brilliant though, man. That's brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I bet there was tons of experimentation. Yeah. So, how long did it take you to get to the final image here? Then, like you're shooting it, like you're getting tons of shots, but how long did it take you for everything to fall into place? Yeah. Dave's editing 12 images while watching the stream. Yeah, you and I was chatting to. I think I was chatting to. Was it Paul? Was it? No, who was it yesterday? Anyway, yeah, I think it was one of you yesterday was saying that they're usually editing whilst the stream's on. So shout out to all my retouchers out there. So James says the reason I didn't edit the original purple shot was because I was struggling where to take it. Hopefully by next stream I've cracked it. Yeah, I think I'll have a quick look in a second. Yeah, probably an hour for this one. An hour. I respected 2 sets with this one. One set with multiple strobes, one with strobe at the start, and the rest abstract. Interesting. Okay. Look, I think this is definitely one of the more comprehensive and complicated in-camera setups I've seen in a long time, Chris. Yeah, so you should be proud of this one, and it's definitely one of those shots that is going to get you an A+ in any camera school, right? Because you're using so many different techniques and ideas to actually achieve this, and there were so many things that needed to fall into place. Granted, you made sure that everything was in place to enable it to fall into place, but still, everything had to come together nicely. I think this is great. I think this is really cool. Very, very clever. Yeah, and hopefully you'll get some more ideas from this that could kind of grow from this. Is there something that we could do with, because you can get programmable mini tripod track things, right? I know you can buy them. There was Kickstarters years ago for them, so I don't think they're too expensive, but you can kind of program them, and people program them for following stars and that sort of stuff, and you can program them to move left and right, so maybe there's some stuff there that you can do with programming, like camera movements, and integrate it with flash and this as well. Could be interesting, like a landscape shot, doing a kind of a similar sort of thing, have the camera on maybe a track like that, so we could kind of get you know, like these, you know, 5 to 8 whatever models in this kind of flowy line. That could be cool. Yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah, good, man. Yeah, hope you run with it, because I think there's tons you can do with this. Yeah. Dave says, yeah, 3 weekends of pole camps, and showcase just over 20,000 images and 60 plus videos to edit in the next 3 weeks. Rather you than me, man. That's nuts. Yeah, 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 Chris. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, they're not crazy expensive. Yeah, they're not crazy expensive. Yeah, and you can get them with wheels and stuff as well, so they actually move, like track around stuff for like still life, and then I think they also have the ability to like track the stars and that sort of thing as well. So like they're fairly editable, you know, and I don't think they're crazy money. So yeah, might be worth having a look. Yeah. Exactly right, Chris. Right, I know. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, man. I really appreciate you sharing that. That's brilliant. Yeah, love seeing stuff like that. Really good. Yeah. So Christina here, last but certainly not least, shot on location on the edges of concrete plant using the Fujifilm X GFX Canada HS2S and the Godox AD100 for fill. Okay, so you're using it as fill here. Interesting, Christina. Okay, so what's the key light then? Is the key light just lights in the factory, and then you're kind of you're kind of filling it in here? I can see we've got some data in the shadows here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Chris. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I mean, something like this. I think there's room for us to, play around with this. Just add some. Because we've got some, we got some blues and stuff here, having a look at, playing with those. Anything we can see if we can lock in. Like that, just try and lean into those blues and reds there. That could work. Yeah, just soften up some of these heavy shadows. I know we're working on the JPEG, but still. Okay, yeah. So just, leaning into the colours that are already there, really. But yeah. It's cool, though. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, I mean, this kind of mix of industrial and fashion and the kind of neutral concrete always works well, especially when you want to get into post and kind of crank the images around a bit. Yeah, a lot of fun. Yeah, nicely done. Thanks for sharing that one, Christina. Appreciate it. Right, let's have just real quick before my dinner goes cold here, Jamie. It's all right. No worries. So I think with this one, we could just come in here with the curves maybe to begin with. Let's have a look. A lot of this will be in the blue. I'm trying to create a little bit more contrast between the background and her here, really. Which is kind of what you were saying, right? You're just trying to find the right fit here. Could be something there. That it's giving us a bit more definition on the face there. That could work. That could work. Yeah, I think it depends how much of that colour you want to take away on the face, or how much you want to lean into it. Yeah, I think you definitely got something there, Jamie. That's fine. Yeah. So I mean, even just us there, just tinkering about for 2 seconds, you can see we can just kind of, we're still leaning into the fact that we've got the separation here, but even just leaning it into it a little bit there, we can definitely bring her out. Yeah. Here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Nice. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Jamie. All good. All good. Good. Perfect. All right, guys. That's good. Good stream again. Good stream. Thank you to everybody tuning in, sharing your images. Yeah, honestly, seriously, yeah, thank you to all of you guys who do share your shots, man, because it is great to see what everybody's working on, and it takes nerve to share your work out there, but put it out there, and with your peers and that sort of thing. So full respect to everybody that shares those shots and allow me to go through with them, have a play. I might be following up with you, Liz. I want to see what you end up with, but I was actually really happy with where we ended up with those color grades in the end. I mean, I thought that ended up looking beautiful, to be fair. So I think there's definitely scope to lean into something like that. Could be really good. Yeah. So good luck with that. Look forward to seeing the final. Hello. Right then, as kind of mentioned earlier on, don't forget online workshops still there, so check those out. If you get bored, maybe want to take lighting a little bit further, and all the workshops that I'm covering are the same that I do in person. So we do the cinematic one here, which is really about trying to build kind of sets at home and smaller spaces, and then kind of light them in more of a cinematic way. We got obviously the most popular one being the color gel one, so it's how we're able to control very bright, bold, saturated colors on the body like this, as well as the projector workshop, which is super creative. Like sky's the limit with what you can do with a relatively cheap projector. The creatively simple lighting workshop, just focusing on different ways of using color gels. It doesn't always need to be about the saturation. We can definitely use it to create these beautiful soft washes of color as well, which is again a different skill as opposed to going full saturation all the time. And working in smaller spaces, so a lot of us working at home, what are some of the techniques we can use to do that? And then lastly, the long exposure one, which seems to go through phases of everybody loving it, and then I don't do it for a while. But yeah, again, like super creative workshop. So check those out, and also got the one-to-one mentoring as well if you want to do anything more in depth with that one-to-one. So check those out. All right then, guys. And yes, thank you, Jamie. Yeah, remember to check the like, subscribe, and ding the bell thing so you know when I go live next time. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. I definitely didn't forget for the 100th time. I appreciate that, mate. But guys, thank you so much for everything here this evening. It's been a good one. Thank you for tuning in, hanging out, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Hopefully 2 weeks time. All right then, guys. Take it easy. Bye.